Hi, so today we're going to be making Salsa di Pomodoro Fresca, which basically translates from Italian into English as fresh tomato sauce. So let's go ahead and get started. A couple of things I want to tell you about this sauce. It's all fresh ingredients. It is delicious and it is so simple. This is easy to make. It can be made a la minute or to order in a restaurant. When a guest orders, I can tell you we used to sell quite a bit of it. It's really tasty. The thing I like about it is it's not what they call Sunday sauce, which in the Italian or Sicilian family, Sunday sauce is the tomato sauce that's put on for Sunday dinner, and it's cooked for hours and hours. This is a 10-minute, at the most 15, probably closer to 10-minute start to finish type sauce. Okay, so I want to show you a couple of the ingredients. Let's tilt this down. I'm sorry if it makes any noise or shakes. Okay. Ingredients. So I've got my mise en place here. Everything that we're going to need. Is that better? That's better. Okay, so we're going to start with cherry tomatoes or plum tomatoes. They can be the round ones like this, oval shaped ones, or teardrops like this. They can be grape tomatoes. They can be the round cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes in June are in season right now. If you can get fresh ones, use fresh ones. We also have extra virgin olive oil. We have white wine, dry white wine. The white wine that came in your kit has got salt added to it. It also has some vinegar into it. It is not for drinking. Drinking wine with salt and vinegar in it will get you sick. It's for cooking only. Okay. We have some fresh garlic that's sliced, crushed red pepper, and fresh basil leaves. We're going to do a tiny bit of prep. Let me move this over. We're going to have to slice garlic, just like we had showed you in your knife skills video, how to mince garlic. This is going to be same thing but different, sliced. Put your knife on top. Don't pound it flat, just give it a light tap so it crushes. You want the bulb to stay whole, and this is hard to do with gloves on. So use your paring knife to grab that skin, and then holding it with your thumb, you can peel it back. Discard the skin, it's not good for anything. Okay. Using your paring knife. Let's see if I can get a little closer. Cut that dark stem that's hard. It won't cook down, won't get soft, it'll stay chewy, and it's just not good. Your clove of garlic, your knife in your hand. You're still going to do clawed. We don't have fingers up here. Using the fingers on your guiding hand, the blade of your knife is sliding right up against that finger, and you'll come up with slices. Take those slices, add them in. Your recipe has your quantities. The other thing we're going to need to prepare, let's put that over there, keep organized, is your fresh basil. It'll come on bigger pieces. Really simple prep. We're just going to pull the leaves off of it. If there are any that have some dark coloration on it, they're still good, because when it cooks down, it's going to turn dark anyway. You don't want rotten spots. You don't want slimy pieces or anything that just doesn't look good at all. You don't want to take your basil off until right before you're ready to use it, because the leaves will turn dark quick. At your home, what you can do before, when you get it, to keep it fresh, you can take your stem of basil, trim the end off using a knife, trim the end off so it's a nice clean cut. I'm sorry if you didn't see that. Trim the end off so it's a nice clean cut. Take and put that in a glass of water. Set it in a cool spot in your kitchen, and it'll keep for several days or up to a week. If you like, you can tear your basil leaves. Personally, when I do this, I leave it whole. This is one of those recipes that when people come over to the house that It's really quick. If I had a long day at work and I'm coming home and I need to cook dinner, either for ourselves or, like I said, if somebody else is coming over, it's a fast cooking dish, real easy to do. And it's one of the dishes that gets people ask for the recipe more than ever. So we're gonna go over to the stove now. So I'll meet you there. Hi, glad you could meet me at the stove. So we're gonna start making this. Right now, I've got a non-reactive skillet. This one happens to be stainless steel. You can use a non-stick skillet if it's large enough, if you like. You can use one of the enameled line pots. You can use a regular sauce pot if you like, just not aluminum or not cast iron or iron. Tomatoes are acidic, wine is acidic, and you'll have it will react. So once your skillet gets nice and hot, go ahead and add your olive oil. This is, I don't have the recipe right in front of me, but it's about 2 ounces of olive oil. You're gonna let that oil get hot. The olive oil is actually part of the sauce as well. You want to use a really good quality oil for this as best you can. Okay, that's a smell that is just, oh man, I wish they bottled that. It's great, the smell that is. They do bottle olive oil. So we're gonna add our tomatoes now. And we're gonna take those, shake them. Okay, this is done over high heat. You want to use about as high heat as you can. And we're gonna let them blister. It's gonna take about 3 or 4 minutes. You can see they're starting to turn, a couple spots are starting to turn yellow where they hit the really hot part of the flame. Okay, shake them just to keep them going. If you like, you can practice your saute technique of tossing. You're gonna tilt everything down, flip your wrist up, and let them stir. That may be a little intimidating to you, but practice that with your skillet. Take some rice, put it in the bottom of a dry skillet, and go outside. Uncooked rice, and go outside and just practice. The whole process is wrist motion. Get it to the end, flip it up, and kind of move your skillet back so you can kind of catch them. In a commercial kitchen, that's a must. You have to know how to do that. You don't have time to stir with a spoon or stir with a fork. Also, it distributes and stirs and mixes things a lot more evenly. So you can hear that sizzling. We're gonna let these tomatoes go for a little bit. You can see they're starting to break down a little bit. That one's getting a little mushy. This one's getting mushy. This stove is very strong, probably much stronger than what you have at home. So it's going to go a lot quicker here than it will at your house. You don't have to throw them high or toss them high. They are starting to break down a little bit. They're going to be good. This kind of changes some of the flavors. There's sugars in tomatoes. It'll start to caramelize the sugars and bring out the sweetness in the sauce a lot. It's supposed to have a sweet, bright, kind of fruity flavor to it. Okay, so I think we're almost ready to add our wine. Let's just go another minute or two here. We're actually starting to get soft. So we're going to add white wine. It's a fairly good amount. Look at your recipe to get the quantity. It's going to cook down and it's going to reduce. So let that go and let that simmer for just a little bit. That skillet's hot, so it came up to a simmer really, really quick. You're going to just let that cook just for about a minute. And then we're going to add everything else except the basil and just let it go. You want to have a potato masher handy if you have one, or a whisk. I wind up using the whisk more than anything for it, but a potato masher works really good for when those tomatoes break down quite a bit. So we're going to let this simmer. You don't want to toss it at this point. It's too much liquid in the pan and it's dangerous. So just let it simmer. Let that wine reduce for a little bit. After about a minute, add a garlic. All of that garlic that you sliced up. The recipe quantity, I believe, calls for 4 cloves. Okay. The sliced garlic adds some visual element to the sauce, and just another way to do it. There's another way to present it in the dish. Let's let it go. Now we want to let this go until it almost completely breaks down. Let that garlic go for a minute or two. Now we want to go ahead and if you're doing this at home and you have white wine, you're going to want to add some salt. There's salt in your wine already, so you don't need any. We're going to add some crushed red pepper flakes. Not a lot. This isn't a hot and spicy dish. Italian cooking, particularly Northern Italian cuisine, uses crushed red pepper quite a bit. The purpose, like I said, isn't to make it spicy. This isn't, New Orleans Cajun spice or however you want to stereotype that. It's not that. But that crushed red pepper puts a little bit of tingle on your tongue. Not spicy tingle, but a little bit of tingle on your tongue. Fresh ground black pepper. If you can, invest in a pepper mill. I have one in my toolkit. There's one that sits out on the counter at my house. There was one on my station at work. It stayed there all the time. So, how easy was that? Other than the basil, that's everything that we need. Okay? We're just going to let this go. At this point, we can take our whisk and we can start to just press down your tomatoes. You don't have to, if they don't break and they're still solid, that's good. Let them go. The more they cook, the hotter they get, the longer it stays in some moist heat, because we use wine. Wine has a lot of water in it, so it's considered moist heat. Let these go. Give it a stir. It's starting to get some body, so we want to break this down just a little bit more as we go. The sauce is going to be chunky. It's not a smooth red tomato sauce, but you don't want big chunks. You don't want to have to bite a piece of tomato in half. Okay. I'm going to turn that flame down because it's reducing really quickly. It's not a thick tomato sauce like a marinara that you would be used to using for spaghetti and meatballs or in your lasagna or something along that line. Okay. Now we're going to add our basil, probably a little bit more than what you would think you would need, but that's what goes in. We're going to give this a little stir. Man, that basil tastes so nice and smells so fragrant and aromatic. Okay. So that's it. The sauce is done. Just give it another little toss. Swirl it. Give it another little toss if you feel adventuresome. Okay. Let's move this off to the side for a second. Let's bring over a fresh skillet, or at home you can take this sauce and put it in a little bowl. We're going to take a spoon and spoon just a little bit of it in the center. You don't need to spoon a lot. We're just going to spoon a little bit of it in the center. Okay. And then we're going to take our pasta, not all of it. I used about 4 ounces by weight. Let's crank our heat up. Let's give it a toss. Got to get a little hot. The pasta's cold, so it's kind of sticking together. Okay, our pasta's sticking just a little bit. So what you can do, a little pasta water that was from the pot. You don't need a lot, just add a little bit. The whole purpose here isn't to put all of the sauce that you're going to want to eat on your pasta. It's to coat the pasta with sauce. It's to make it, when you paint a wall, or you paint a car, or you paint a piece of furniture, something like that, you always put primer on. It helps the paint to stick. That's just exactly what this pasta is. It's the primer. So I want to show you how to plate this. Okay, let's give it another little toss. If you have in your toolkit, you should have a long fork. If not, you can use a regular fork. If not, you don't have to do anything. Stick it in, grab a bunch of that pasta. It'll all start to pull up on itself and twirl. You can put it off to the side of the pan and twirl. Bring that twirl over to your plate. Give it a little bit more of a spin. Let's pull that over. We're gonna clean our plate up. I can hear you. He's such a mess. Let's spoon a little more sauce on top. Okay, let's grab a clean towel, not one that you wipe your face with or wipe the table or the counters with. Clean your plate off for presentation. For garnish, let's put, how about we put a nice basil leaf right there. That's it. Vermicelli pasta with salsa di Pomodoro Fresca. Whoops, you can't see. How about there? I'll get this for you yet. There you go. Vermicelli pasta with salsa di Pomodoro Fresca. Thanks. Lunchtime.